So in this video, I want to talk about Moonlit Fantasy, as this is one of my favorite isekai series out there. And again, I don't have like a tier list where I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as far as like what's my like favorite. I have like a tier system where I got like my SS tier, kind of like these are my favorite isekais, and Moonlit Fantasy has always been one of those because I find the concept very interesting of a main protagonist that has kind of been like shunned by the goddess herself, kind of system of being like, oh, you're ugly, I'm gonna throw you to the demons. Now you're kind of like the anti-hero, like you're not the bad guy, but you're not also perceived as the good guy either. You're kind of just making do with what you've got in a really messed up system, and this goddess is kind of manipulating the board and kind of using him as a tool to do whatever she wants. And with second season coming out, which is going to be double course, so 24 or so episodes, I believe it's going to be 25 episodes, back-to-back episodes, so 6 months of Moonlit Fantasy, I'm super excited about it. I really am excited to see where the story goes, because I think the first season was phenomenal. The opening song is great, the ending song is great, the animations were great, the characters were great, the pacing was great. Like, everything about it to me was really good. Like, it's everything I would hope for as far as an isekai goes. And I know a lot of people don't. This is the thing about isekais, is that it kind of gets treated like the junk food of the anime sort of genres or themes and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of people out there that just hate isekais purely because of the concept itself. They would prefer it to be a fantasy. But I like how they've done this isekai kind of world, and the second season, even with 2 episodes out, proves why I love it being an isekai itself, because there are many isekais out there where I've just sat there and said it shouldn't be an isekai, it should just be a power fantasy. Because there's many situations where you get a main protagonist, he gets transported to an alternative world, it's a 5-minute introduction about his past life, and that's it. You never see anything about that ever again. You never get an idea of what they were like in their past life, have they changed, how have they adapted. It's all just like click of a finger, it's over and done with. They're just like, it just feels like it's just there that first 5 minutes just so they can shove the isekai tag in the actual series. So it's awkward, it feels annoying when they do that, but with Moonlit Fantasy, it doesn't. And the reason being is because of the connection from his past, his present, and then also the future, with all these other heroes being transported as well. So there's multiple heroes, and it seems to be some of these do have connections between each other, at least from what I've gathered. All of them, because there's 2 heroes that have been transported on top of him, 1 female, 1 male, and each of those have their own unique powers. And so there's so many interesting questions that I have about where that part of the story is going to go. And even if I knew, I wouldn't want to spoil the second season, because I feel like giving an idea of what the first season is with a little bit of season 2 is all you need to know that it is a great series. If you haven't ever watched Moonlit Fantasy, I highly recommend it. The only issue I have with the series is there's no legal English translation of the light novels currently. That might change, but currently there is not. I hope there will be, because it's a really good series, and I would absolutely love to read the light novels and go deeper into it and see what cut content there is, but also just get more deeper into the story, because I of course gather a feeling that the anime is not going to cover all the light novels with season 2. So there's always going to be more after the anime, and I'm just generally curious, and I love doing light novel reviews when they do well, and I enjoy them, the fans enjoy them, they get watched, that kind of thing. Like, you know, I make content so that people enjoy them, so it always is a bummer if people don't watch them and enjoy them. But I just think Moonlit Fantasy does a lot of things right, especially with his past life, and how like he has memories of people that he was close to in his past life, and how that has an impact on his behavior when he sees people in this isekai world. His relationship with the goddess itself, it's not like you just have the goddess there for 5 minutes to bestow a power and then it's over with. No, she's manipulating the whole system and everything, and it does kind of have like a map that looks like Japan as well, so there's some interesting like crossovers between the two. And then you've also got the other god himself that helped him out. And then you've got his past life with his family, his past life with his friends, and that girl that he had a crush with. Or not really a crush with. I think he kind of had feelings, but she didn't. And there's like, all the manipulation. I'm sketchy with my memory there, just talking about it. But there's just so much potential for the story just from that component alone, and I'm not even getting into the actual power fantasy itself, how he is so overpowered, how he has to wear equipment to drain the power because of his over the top like mana kind of thing. The fact that he looks ugly, which I don't think he looks ugly, but apparently in that world he looks ugly, so people kind of shun him, and then because of the mana they get scared of him. And then he's made friends with all these monsters, dragon and the spider having a bit of a relationship with some of these other heroes. There's all these things going on, and yes, you can technically classify this as a harem. It's really debatable, because technically the definition of a harem is three or more individuals in love with the same person. Now, the person doesn't have to reciprocate the feelings. I have to remind people that, because I always get yelled at in the comments, people going, that's not how a harem works. No, that is exactly how a harem works. It's 3 or more people in love with the same person, and it does not have to be reciprocated. As long as those 3 are in love with the main protagonist, that is it. That's all that needs to happen. He doesn't have to marry them all. He doesn't have to date them all. He doesn't even have to like them. He could hate them all, and it would still be classified as a harem because they are in love with him. But you've got the dragon and the spider, so that's 2. I'm never really sure with the pig girl if she kind of has feelings. I kind of feel like she does. So I'm kind of like, that technically would make it a harem if she is one of those, but I've never really looked up the tags to see if other places classified as a harem or not, because I don't really care. I really don't care if it's classified as a harem or not. And that's another thing as well, is that harems do also get a bit of a stigma, because, oh, how dare more than one person fall in love with the same person, which, by the way, isn't really that uncommon in real life. Like, there's a reason why the term love triangle exists, and reason why there are so many dramas out there, and just, you know, interesting stories about people that have drama going on in their own life, because, say, like, a female has like 3, 4, 5 guys that are all interested in them, and they're kind of fighting for their affection. That is technically a harem. People say that's a reverse harem, but I don't remember the word harem ever being gender specific, so again, just want to point that out. But you could call it a reverse harem if you want to. Then you've also just got to look at the fact that people just have a bit of a stigma because of other series out there that have harem as a major key component of the story. But to me, the harem doesn't matter. It's just a fun part of it. And the interactions between the dragon and the spider, and them kind of vying for his attention and affection, and, you know, they've definitely indicated that they kind of want to get in bed with him and do some fun activities. The chemistry from those characters I absolutely love, and also the chemistry from other side characters as well, those that he interacts with from the human side, the beast side, the world itself, and how it kind of meshes the fog. There's so many amazing things that I really love what the anime has done, and seeing that expand into season 2 opens up so much potential of where the story can go, especially with the goddess's influence and the humans and the demons fighting, and then these 2 other additional heroes being summoned. It's just mind-boggling where it can go. And this is the thing. Season 1 was a single core. Season 2 is a double core. Clearly, there is a lot of interest in the series. Now, as far as other things go, like merchandise and all that, I'd be very interested to see if that expands more further. But I really, really, really want to see a light novel adaptation done. If there is a fan translation out there, I might give that a read. Definitely tell me in the comments down below if there is one, and I might go hunting for it just to read it. Because I really want to read the light novels at some point, and definitely talk about them in more detail, about what I think of the story and each component of the volumes. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of Moonlit Fantasy? Because for me, I can't stop gushing about it. There are so many other little things that I can talk about, and I may definitely talk about them in future videos, like little specific topics and themes that have been covered, as far as like betrayal, trust, redemption, or proving a point, and the goddess, and just all these little different things that are going on, and things that could be expanded upon, and the potential of where the story can go. Because I absolutely love the series. I think it is worth a watch if you are an isekai junkie, but I would assume most people watching this video have probably watched it and are just wanting my thoughts and opinions. But if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it if you are into a power fantasy isekai. And hey, if you like harems, that's a bonus. But I wouldn't say the harem aspect is key. It's just a side component, but not key. But again, you could argue that it's not, depending on the pig girl. That's the debate. And I'd ask the question to you: is the pig girl in love with him? Yes or no? And again, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.